All right. Hello. 1 second. Well, someone was. Oh, okay. Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Oh shit, that's loud. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I might have to turn you down a little bit.
Probably a good idea. Nothing interesting really on this side.
All right. Technical difficulties. Hopefully people can hear you.
Hopefully. If not, just say you're talking to yourself.
Yeah, I'm talking to myself. All right. So what we're gonna draw today is Raphael from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I got a couple things here. I got in the mail. I got some Speedball India ink, which you usually use to cover the bigger black areas. And then, kind of the reason why I'm doing this whole thing at all is because I got these micro fine pens, which I've never tried before, and I'm really curious to see how they go. These Huskies. One's apparently a brush, water based, water resistant. So yeah. Anyway, Chava's gonna be here with me because he's just blasting through Resident Evil 8.
Yeah, something to kill the time. For the record, can't see what you're drawing, so if I'm not commenting on it, it's not out of rudeness. It's just I'm blind.
Uh, why don't you just go over to something and watch? No, I'm just kidding. uh, it's not your fault. It's fine. Hold on real quick. I gotta go get a pencil. I gotta plug the stream, and then yeah, I'll be right back.
Okay.
You think
I can
you
talk to
think
you in like
Konami is gonna be
8
like,
minutes.
hey?
Alright, bye. I'm trying, alright?
They're gonna be like, hey, you can't do that. That's ours. Can't do that.
It's a paid phone. It's a paid phone. It's a prepaid phone. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, I'm gonna plug this real quick. Get the usuals in the house, hopefully. Did you grow up playing any TMNT games?
No, just mainly getting to play with the Playmates playset back in the day because my older brother had it.
Playmates playset. Was that the one that had the sewer underneath it?
Yeah, the big sewer set. I never got to see it in its full glory. It was pretty much already busted up from play by the time I got to it, but it was cool.
Oh. Did your brother make sweet love to it? Was that why it was all?
I hope not. I don't know. All I know is I saw someone reviewing the set like years down the line. I was like, I recognize those plastic walls. I didn't realize it had a street level on top.
Yeah. Yeah, I had that too. I had that, and there was a fish tank that I actually saw on eBay not too long ago. That was TMNT themed, and like it had a top to cover where the fish were, and then on top of it was the what's it called, the something drone. Why am I not getting it?
Oh God, I want to say video drone, but that is not correct. I'm not sure. I know what you're talking about though. The Technodrome.
Technodrome, yeah. It had the Technodrome on the top part, and then on the bottom part where the fishes were, it had like a background where I think Michelangelo was swimming or something. It's pretty neat. It's pretty rad.
Most of my TNT, most of their involvement in my life was the 1990 movie. We had taped off of cable TV, and my brother's very old VHS tapes of the cartoon series. He had a couple of the official VHS releases.
Oh yeah, the cartoon. Yeah.
Yeah. The only episode I remember vividly from all of that was the one where with the meatballs that are like aliens. They end up on pizzas, and if you microwave them, they turn into like these gremlins creatures.
Oh yeah.
Just now realizing that entire episode was ripping off Gremlins.
They did a lot of ripping off on that. I think Ghostbusters was kind of like ripped off on that. Old Western, something else.
I was actually looking at a Ghostbusters action figure earlier today.
But of course you were. You know
Well,
what?
I was at Target and I was browsing their very very sad action figure aisle, and all they had left was stands and like this really nice looking box, and I was just like, well, where's the others? Where's Winston?
Yeah.
Question I ask way too many times when it comes to Ghostbusters merch.
Yeah. Was that? Are those the remakes of the old ones?
No, it looked way more detailed than that. It had like the box was like this nice cardboard looking box. It wasn't like a normal traditional blister pack.
Mm. But I mean, oh no, I should elaborate. Was it the man, I am tired. I just got off of work, sorry. Was it the old toys that they're repackaging and reselling, like Mattel or Kenner did them or something?
No, it's not. It's not the re-release of those.
Okay.
Because I know they re-released the ones with those wands that were like notoriously fragile, but I think they fixed it, or at least they're newer, so they won't break. But no, these were like NECA quality action figures.
Oh, okay. I just realized nobody could see what I'm drawing because it's too bright.
At least you caught it now instead of the end of the video.
Yeah. So, as you can see now, I turned off the light and it's kind of here. But, yeah, so, I don't know.
And of course, I also had Secret of the Use also taped off to Kate. We had a lot of movies taped off of like HBO and whatnot. I remember enjoying that one as a kid, and now as an adult, I'm like, oh, I can see how terrible this is in comparison.
Yeah, we were still suckers for it though.
Well, I mean, it's just very obvious. It seems like every franchise back then had at least once they got big with the kids, even though the movie wasn't, well, in general, if the first movie was like a hit with the kids, but it wasn't necessarily meant to be 100% a kids movie, then you could always tell the second movie is definitely fully catering to children, like Ghostbusters 2.
Right.
Let's throw in as many references to the cartoon as we can. And Slimer's our buddy now.
Yeah, I really hate when they did that. They would get the dumb, non-sensitive character or nonsensical character to come on and talk and take over the show. They did the same thing with Scrappy Doo and Scooby.
Which is why I'm pretty sure why James Gunn made him the villain in the first movie.
Yeah, fuck Scrappy Doo.
Because he's just like, it's like, trust me, everyone hates Scrappy. They're not going to mind this.
Studio's like, we don't give a fuck.
Warner Brothers is like, we don't give a fuck right now, but we will when you turn out that you do an R-rated cut of this movie for some reason.
Yeah.
I still want to see that cut. I actually really enjoy the first Scooby-Doo movie.
Yeah, the first one's okay. Like, I haven't seen it since it came out, but, like, I remember enjoying it a lot.
It's painfully early 2000s, but you know what? I'm for it. Just because the sense of humor.
What? Well, was that the one that had Sugar Ray, or was that the second one?
No, that was the first one because he's like the band's a musical act in the at the island they're at, and he flat out like jumps down to sing to Daphne, and she's all for it. And then she realizes his eyes are all fucked up, and she's like, oh no,
you're evil.
And then she goes off for that cut locker room scene that Warner Brothers doesn't like to talk about.
I should mention, now that we're on horror, that Webb and I did do a review for Resident Evil 8. It was a long review, too. We had a lot to say. It was like 2 hours, a little over 2 hours long. And I'm just getting the video together is what it is. And then I'm probably going to put it out either later tonight or tomorrow.
Also, speaking of horror reviews, I should really, really put you on the spot and be like, we should review a horror movie together.
We could do that right now. I mean, it's not very Turtles-esque, but yeah.
Well, not right now, but like in the future. I'm planning an idea right now while it's on public record.
Oh, okay.
We really need to do a horror movie review of Brain Scan.
I've never seen it, so...
Yeah, Edward Furlong, post T2, gets a video game where you can simulate being a serial killer, and it turns out the kills in the game are happening in real life.
See, that's already scary.
Yeah.
Edward Furlong, post T2, very scary.
Yeah, killing people. It's great. And I don't know. There's just something about it, Stefan. I've always had an affinity for the movie. I've loved it since I saw it. I just something about it where I feel like it's something that'd be right up your alley.
Mm-hmm.
To quote John Connor in T2, it's definitely you.
Yes, easy money.
Piece of cake.
I want to apologize to everyone. Usually when I do my live streams, it's during the day because then I get like daylight coming in my window, which does not affect the video at all. But right now it looks like shit because like if I turn on the light above it, for some reason it's too bright. Like it looks fine to me, but you can't see anything. So when I ink it right now, after I quickly draw it, I'll turn on the regular light and you'll be able to see the ink come on. So yeah, fuck everything.
Light balancing. The struggle is real.
Yep. So, let's see. I'm actually just going to ink the face real quick. And, well, I'm going to fix it first because it's not right. But, then you'll have something to look at least. Ooh, la, 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 down by the river.
Shouldn't you be singing something from the Teenage Ninja Turtles soundtrack?
Oh, what's it? What is it? Go ninja, go ninja, go, go, go,
God,
go,
yep.
go.
I hate that Vanilla Ice like steals all the spotlight for the music. No one ever remembers the soundtrack to the 1990 movie, and it's sad because that one was a banger, you know.
The doom 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 doom.
Well, yeah, the score too, but no, like the actual like licensed music.
What was the end?
9.9.5. Sorry, what?
Yeah, oh, that was a great song. What was the ending scene song? The ending credits song. Sorry.
Oh, Turtle Power, Turtle Power.
Yeah.
That was MC Hammer.
That was fucking. That's a banger. Sorry, I keep
That
thinking
was
of.
something kids could.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say that was something kids could walk out of the theaters to. Like, yeah, I just saw a cool movie. There was drugs and violence in it, and my parents took me.
Of course, their parents are like 10 feet walking behind them, like that was shit. What the hell did we just watch?
Do they have smoking teenagers? What the fuck are they putting on screens these days? I don't.
You call that family?
You call that up there family, and that, or sorry, you call that up there and that down there family? Casey Jones, loved him in that movie. Sucks that the second movie was like old, but like they really didn't want to go with the dark and violent route because that was like a lot of parental complaints. That's why we don't have Casey Jones in the sequel, because they were like, nope, he's too violent.
Yeah, we have Shredder saying
Vigilante justice has no place in.
We have Shredder saying they're babies. Babies.
Do you remember why those things ended up being, why Toka and Razor ended up being their own thing instead of Bebop and Rocksteady? Because I know there was a reason. I know it was like one of the creators was like, no, you don't get to use them in your movie.
Well, they wanted to make more toys. I know that was part of the consideration. They had to come up with characters that would make more toys. And then there was another reason, and it's funny because I just saw or read an interview the other day that explained the reason, and I can't even remember. But yes, there is a reason.
I just know that there were supposed to be a lot more references to the cartoon that got cut. Like, I know the scientist was supposed to turn out to be like a vessel for Krang, I think.
Oh, that's right. Oh no, I thought he was supposed to be Baxter Stockman.
I heard that too, but I could have swore I read somewhere like there's supposed to be a big reveal, like he's mostly helpful, like he is in the final film, and then there's supposed to be a scene where you see him like after April leaves, and then his stomach opens up and Krang's up in there, and it's like, oh no!
Wow. I wish I could do a Krang impression, but that is a hard voice to do.
I forget how it sounds. Is it like extra spitty and kind of like this?
Yeah. But it's even like, it's like a little higher, more higher pitch, but it's basically that.
Oh, I see. It sounds kind of, maybe a little like this.
Yes.
Go fuck yourself, Leonardo. This boss fight in Resident Evil 8 is going on way too long. You could say that for most of the boss fights.
That's not very Krang of you.
Suck my brainstem.
Oh, the porn parody. I see.
No, this isn't Los Tortugas Pinchas. I wish I couldn't make that reference. I really, really wish I didn't know that reference. Don't ever look that up, audience. Ever.
All right. I got a weird, kind of rough draft here. Just have to kind of wing it. All right. Because I'd like to switch to regular light.
Good God, just fucking die.
What did I quote?
And for the record, everyone, that's not Resident Evil 8. I'm just really unhappy with the art right now.
Yeah. Well, how far are you?
I'm playing. Oh, I don't know. It's kind of spoilerific. The game hasn't been out like a. I'm fighting a particular boss that requires a laser pointer.
I don't know what you're
In
referring
the
to.
very final, like in the final act of the game.
Are you playing Village of Shadows?
No, not yet. Wouldn't
Mm.
that be the twist? So I was like, oh yeah, I got past the that Heisenberg boss fight. By the way,
I'd be pretty pissed off at you. You're like, oh,
how
first
dare you
try.
get past? Oh, Stefan, if that happened, I'd lie to you. I wouldn't tell you first try. I was like, man, it took me at least 10.
Anyone who doesn't know, I'm playing the hardest difficulty Resident Evil 8, and I spent at least an hour and a half on Heisenberg, and blows he blows dogs for quarters. I hate that fight.
Quarters, eh? That's a savings.
Man, I've never used these before. These pigment liners, they're really weird. I don't know if I like them, but I knew I could use them for detail.
Where are you, you little shit? Is that it? Nope, that's not it.
Oh, there it is. That's it. Yeah. It just
Trying to,
gets
trying
worse.
to. I did it! I got it! Last goat. Sacrifice the last goat in this game. Turns out the last one that I missed was literally the last one in the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Man, it is still too bright. That blows. Well, I guess we're not doing any one of these anymore during the nighttime. Do some cross-hatching here. The good thing about drawing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, though, is that if you look at the original art, and people... I don't disagree that this is true, but the original art by Eastman and Laird is super, super rough, and I don't know a better way or a nicer way to say it. It's just really rough, but
That gritty indie comic style.
yeah, but it's
Like, looks like it was drawn in a subway.
yeah, but it's actually to its detriment. I think it makes it look beautiful.
Wait, so it isn't like because if something's to its detriment, that means that it holds it back.
Well, it holds it back only in that it will forever look like an indie comic. But to me,
Right.
it should look like it. It doesn't look like an indie comic to me. It looks like a badass grade A comic book.
I really wish they do like a full-on collection, like just re-release all the comics in like volumes.
I think they did. I have one, not a volume, but I have the artisan book. It has the first issue, and it shows like from pencils to inks to duotone and so on and so forth.
Yeah, the downside, I don't know. I remember seeing a video where like they were talking about how like collecting like every Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic from back in the day is like almost impossible.
Really?
And that there's still like some, yeah, though, like there's some that are like kind of lost to time.
I didn't know that. Well,
And I definitely hold on to whatever ones you have because I hear they're kind of rare.
yeah, I have a couple good ones. The original comic, the original first issue was here, let me you know what I'll do? I'll move the camera closer. It's just bothering me. The original comic though I think was 5,000 copies. So whoever has one of those got a little bit of buku in the bank.
You ever think someday it's going to cost as much as like the first ever Superman or like Detective Comics number Which one was it for the first Batman?
29 or something.
Yeah, Detective Comics number 29.
Or 6. God damn it, Chavo. Now I gotta look it up.
No.
27.
Can't say it's entirely off topic because I think DC's got a stake with the Turtles now. I know at the very least they make their appearance in Injustice, so I know they got kind of a cross connection.
Yeah. Yeah, this light's not gonna work. I'm sorry, people. I'm just trying to do it. Let's see. Go back to this, maybe. Pigment liner. It's using my phone there. But anyway.
This game is as creepy as a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles costume from 1990 and how it looks today.
How far are you, Chavo? Did you even start the hardest difficulty, or are you still on your collection?
I'm still. This is the tail end of my collector's run. I grabbed the goats, so I think I'm done for collecting things.
Cool.
I might do mercenaries after this.
Telling you, get that Village of Shadows over.
Yeah.
It's really not hard, except for Heisenberg. He's a dick.
I'm torn because part of me is like, yeah, and then another part of me is like, do I want to put myself in a shit mood today?
I don't know if you'll make it there like that. I made it there, and I want to say 2 hours and 20 minutes. 2 hours.
Oh, sounds like you're gonna.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're gonna at least have that speed run down on pat when you do it.
Yeah. So I'll get the 3-hour run, and I'll also get the unlock for weapons thing, and then I got all the upgrades for them, so I'll get all that, and then it also unlocks the last gun where you get the recipe. So it's like I'll be unlocking 8 trophies once I beat it on Valley of Shadows.
So what recipe unlocks? Is it the hand cannon or?
Yeah, it's that one gun that fires like little rockets or whatever.
Oh, the rocket pistol. Okay, I was wondering because I was like, son of a bitch, I bought all the recipes. What's the last one?
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out the assault rifles use the sniper rifle ammo, even though that doesn't quite feel right. But
yeah, it doesn't make sense.
I mean, I don't know. I've never owned an assault rifle, so I can't say for sure. I could be wrong. I'm sure there's going to be someone in the comments. Actually, you fucking idiot. Some sniper rifles actually have the same caliber.
I'll reply back. Actually, you fucking idiot. We knew that. No, just kidding. We were just testing to see if you knew.
And you failed. Because I said so.
What a great way to get subscribers.
Oh yeah. Being combative. What does this look like? Angry Joe?
He does get combative with his people, doesn't he?
What was that?
I said he does get combative with his subs.
Yeah. Sorry, phrasing. Yeah, no, it happens. I mean, I don't know. I hesitate to go into detail about why. I'm just gonna say he kind of brings it on himself in that particular instance.
Yeah, I mean, just set up an environment, where the point is to be angry. So,
I'm going to be angry at things irrationally, sometimes rationally, but I'm going to mix it with irrational things. This didn't look as bad when I was, sidelined with people like Doug Walker, where you get irrationally angry at children's films.
yeah.
All right, back to TMNT, as God knows I love staying on topic. Favorite April O'Neil out of all the actresses we've had play her. Who's your pick for best April?
Uh, Original.
First movie, yeah,
Mm-hmm. Because she also kind of had an attitude, which I appreciated. It's like, well, yeah, she's in. Where are they at again? New York, right?
yeah, New York City.
Yeah, so it's like a New York-based reporter. Of course, she would have like some toughness to her. I mean, if she didn't, that would be weird, in my opinion.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one. She's always been my favorite. She was the first one that I was experienced with, and I personally, I don't know. I didn't like the direction. I didn't like how she went from kind of hippie-ish chick with attitude to yuppie in the second one.
Oh yeah, she really got cleaned up. Once you go Casey Jones, you just got too wrecked. You got to clean up.
Yeah, no, she obviously is bad. That didn't take the breakup well in that one.
Yeah.
I hate to cut this short, but unfortunately, I have to go for a bit. There's a phone call I really need to take. If you're still going, can I pop back on later?
Yeah, just let me know.
All right, I'll catch you later, man.
All right, later. Ooh, la, 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 la. I had Neil Young stuck in my head all day. Not sure why. All right. Well, anyone who watches this later, again, I'm really, really sorry about the light. Not, just can't do these at night, apparently. And I realize I really shouldn't be using these pens like this. They're not really made for inking like this, but I really want to give them a go. Kind of get used to them. By the river, I lost my baby. Ooh, la, 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 la. Ooh, la, 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 la. Oh. TMNT. RUTMNT. It's funny because I like the three things I grew up with again: Ghostbusters, Batman '89, TMNT, and TMNT is just one of the greatest IPs that ever came out, and the original conception of it and the story, and just, Eastman and Laird just seem like cool dudes, which is exactly what the Turtles are. Cool dudes. So it's like, man, just magic. How they put together, comic book on borrowed money. I think it was Eastman's uncle who loaned them money to get their comic book going. That was like $1,000 or something, because this was in the early 80s. It's like 84 or something. And he gave him money, and they went and got like expensive paper first off, because they had duotone, and duotone in the art was like this paper that had lines you couldn't see that went a certain way, and then you would get something, the actual chemical, and go like over it with the chemical, and it would bring out those lines. That's why in the original TMNT art you can see it. And it's amazing. It actually doesn't even exist anymore, which is even crazier. Down by the river, I lost my baby. Ooh, la, 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 la. Ooh, la, 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 la. So yeah, this is very rough, obviously. Taking a lot of inspiration from Eastman and Laird's stuff. And just kind of winging it, really. Gotta stop singing. People are gonna be like, "Ah, man, I try to enjoy his streams, but he's always singing. It's terrible." Proceeds to sing. Down by the river, I lost my baby. You know, it looks okay. Kind of my own version of Eastman and Laird, but here's the problem. I wish I had duo shade. I wish I could sorry, I was gonna put my beer there. Just kind of lay out the lines, the ink, the chemical. Something I think they should bring back, do a Kickstarter for. Hey, you guys want duo shade? We're gonna do a Kickstarter. I'd drop hundreds of dollars. Like, sure, sign me up. Take the whole set. Ooh la la la. All right. So as we know, Raphael has got size. Not size, but size. Those are his instrument of death. His weapon of choice. Well, actually, I don't remember if they choose their weapons, but he definitely, he's definitely the one who has maybe the hardest weapon to master. I would say the bow staff is pretty easy. Swords are swords. No, I take it back. Nunchucks. Those got to be the worst by far. Which is funny. Maybe that's why Michelangelo gets them, because he's the one who needs the most discipline. He's the goofiest. Sorry, I'm never gonna get Neil Young unstuck from my head, apparently. Okay, I might need to pencil this because it's like a cylinder. Yeah, it's like a cylinder. Well, maybe it's a little bit smaller. All right. Kind of add some funky darks in there. All right. You know what? This is actually coming together better than I thought it would. And I thought it was going to blow. Ooh, la, la, la. All right. You know, people get intimidated by fingers and shit. But I mean, it's a cartoon, basically. Fingers don't have to really make sense. As long as they look 3D and they don't look flat. Should be good. And my best advice for that is to wing it. Not even kidding, just wing it. because if you put too much thought into it, it could hurt your chances of getting it right. You know, the more you just like do it and just practice, you're gonna feel more comfortable with hands. See that? Well, let's pencil this a little bit. And a little bit bigger. Just slightly bigger. And then middle. Right? Right? Right. Right. Actually, I'd probably fix that later. Make it more straight. It's really far from me. Like where the camera is here and how far back away I am. I'm actually a foot away. Usually my head would be right here. No excuses. None whatsoever. Total professional. Not even a professional. All right. Draw the chest here, something like that. Let me have this one slightly stick out as if the abs are crunching. This one a little less, different side. See that? Does it look right to the body? No. See, maybe a little bit bigger. Kind of like trying to Jack Kirby it here and just do it. Pull figures out of thin air. So it's probably like right here. And then Usually at this point I'd hold up the piece of paper in front of me, because it's then you could tell how perfect your lines are and how big, when you look at the whole thing, how big it is. Because you think this is big, the chest, but then there's like, you know, the belt, right? Then there's the lower half. And it's like, wow, now it's big. Now it's starting to make sense. And then you got your turtle shell. Now is the turtle shell too big? That's the hard part. So, try to determine it. Again, I'd usually raise the paper up here, kind of see where it's at. But it's kind of coming together now. And again, this looked big or it looked small, either one. But when you add the whole thing in, then you're like, okay, now it looks as it should. The turtles in themselves actually are kind of like figure work in a way, because they service muscles so extreme that you could almost see the figure in it before, you even get to making it a turtle. Which is another thing I like about Eastman and Laird's art, is it's just great, interesting figure work. Especially when you're coming up with something that's never been drawn before. I mean, it does have a human shape, but essentially the turtles had never been drawn before like this. I don't think any turtle has. And so it's pretty informative style. Like, if you were going to start to learn how to draw things, I would start here with TMNT. And I'm kind of doing a rough here. I don't really know where I'm going to go. In that, this is kind of already a drawing in itself, but I don't really know where I'm going to go for my version of it. You make it kind of skinnier. Yeah, kind of makes more sense here. You're no Jack Kirby. What's that quote from again? I forget. I'm gonna go grab some water real quick. All right, I'm back. It's good to see you, G1. How's it going tonight? All right. Yeah, that's what everyone wants to see. They want to see me draw feet. Sweet turtle feet. I kid. Well, that's good you brought up Jack Kirby, because that's right. It's good you brought up Jack Kirby though, because Eastman and Laird were huge Kirby fans, and they liked I think Eastman liked Daredevil. Maybe both of them did. But I think when they first met, the way they bonded was Laird had original Kirby art in his, I guess it was in a frame on a wall or something. He had original Kirby art. And yeah. Eastman was a huge fan, and then they buddied up and got an art studio together called Mirage. And I forget why they called it Mirage. Like, probably because they didn't think you're going to make it, or because you wouldn't see them coming. I don't know. I always wanted to have a studio, but I don't know anyone else who can draw. I'm on my own in this one. Or who would want to learn to draw, you know? It's a hard thing. Hard thing to learn. I guess. I don't know. I've been plugging away at it for a couple of years now. 2 years to be exact. Started drawing 2 years ago. Not that I didn't, like... I mean, I drew when I was a teenager. I drew a little bit growing up here and there, but... You know what I mean. Actually trying to draw. I know what it is. This is too far apart. Again, if anyone doesn't remember or just joining or whatever, I'm trying to use these new pigment liners. I've never used them before, and so I'm just experimenting. I got a pack of them here. Microfine pen pigment liners for writing, sketching, and drawing. Tubular, dude. How about after this we order a pizza? Man, pizza sounds good. All right. I'm actually drinking some Dogfish Head 90-minute Imperial IPA. Really good stuff. If you've never had it before, it's very strong too. I mean, not as strong as something like Dragon's Milk or like CBS or KBS. Which, if you haven't had those either, give them a shot. Although I don't drink often anymore, so I feel like people who drink would probably find that more informative. Really should have sketched out my inking here a little bit more. Kind of winging it. So if you're like, why is he doing that? It doesn't look right. Like, I'm winging it. Plus, as we've stated here before many a times, do what I want. And we do our best. Nobody here is a professional. You came to the wrong place for that. You don't have to be a hipster to like IPA. I would say microbrews are hipsterish. And also IPA. No, I'm not a hipster. How dare you? How dare you, sir? St. John. Who I am going to have on the podcast at some point. When he, gets his shit together. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You come on whenever you feel like it. It's all good. I'm really going crazy on these lines here because I don't have duotone. I need to chill out. I was thinking today of Mitch Hedberg jokes. If you don't know who Mitch Hedberg is, please go watch some of his stand-up after this. There's one joke. Oh man, what was it? Whenever I want 1,000 of something, I just make rice. It's kind of... I mean, you either get it or you don't. It's kind of like these one-off jokes. That's all he is just one-off jokes. There's no, like, storytelling. He's not trying to tell some long story and get this huge laugh out of you. It's just, here's what I'm going to say. Okay, I'm done with that joke. Next joke, here's what I'm going to say. Okay, I'm done with that joke. I love Mitch Hedberg. You know what I need to do, though? I need to listen to some more Guar. I just can't get into them, though. And it's not that their music's bad that I can't get into them. I don't know why I can't get into them. Actually, there are a couple songs. I don't remember the names. I think it was their first album. There's a couple songs on there I did like. But they were very... How should I put this? Archaic. Very... of that period. Down by the river. What's everyone doing tonight? What are you doing? What are you doing? And if you say digging up bodies, boy, am I not calling the police. You have fun. But if you send me a package and it's a severed head, I'm going to be very upset. Ah, yeah. Well, is not aged well the right term, or it's like they're of that age, because it just felt like of that time. I mean, maybe yeah, the recording was, subpar. I'm not trying to be mean to Guard tonight. I actually do like some of the stuff they stand for. I mean, the stuff I've seen them post that they stand. I don't know their full backstory, or you know. Also, I don't know if these are gonna smear if I use an eraser on them. I guess we'll find out. Nope. Can I clean it up here? You know, you guys could be doing this too. I'm really not that great an artist. This shit isn't hard. I keep asking people to draw something and send it to me, and I'll show it on the show. Draw the same thing I'm drawing. It's not hard. This literally takes no practice. This is easy. Yeah, you know what? Growing up, Donatello was my favorite. At first, and then I started to play games more with Raphael, and I watched the movie more, and then he became my favorite, so that's why. Kind of get these right here. I don't like the way they look. Needle and the damage done. You know what, though? Uh, just to let everyone have a chance to see what it is I'm talking about, let me show you. Hold on. So before anyone thinks, like, what? This isn't how he usually draws. Yeah, it's true. Well, here's like kind of the archaic nature of the original comic book. With the duo shade. And this is what I mean by duo shade. Is a type of paper you put a chemical on and create this kind of illusion. If you look real closely, you can see lines. I don't know if you could see that. But it's very raw drawing. And this is kind of what made the TMNT famous for an indie comic book. Still one of the greatest indie comic books of all time. I don't want to say the greatest, just to spark an argument, but it might be. This is the artisan edition by IDW. Anyway. I wish I had some duotone. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this tonight. This is a lot of work. Let me get some, also, let me go get a brush real quick so I can ink this faster. Oh. It is the greatest, in my opinion. I don't know. There's a lot of good ones though. It just depends, I guess, what you're into. There's a lot of splatterpunk ones back in the day. But I can't think of a more successful indie comic that gave a group of talents kind of what the TMNT did. Cuz that's they got a lot. They got toys, movies, TV show. Terrible rock concert. And if anyone tries to defend that shit, no. You're canceled. Cancel culture, you. Oh, the damage done. Um, go ninja, go ninja, go. Go, go, go. Oh, Chavo wants to jump back in the chat. Anyone else wants to get on Skype and join this chat? Just let me know, and I will. And you can message me on Facebook because I know who these people in chat are, and you can hop on. We could have a real conversation.
Am I coming in?
Whoa, that's loud.
Sorry. God, I don't know why I'm coming in so loud.
Yeah. Me neither.
I'm not a loud person.
Coworker today was talking about. She's like, my new boyfriend. He had a beard, and I'd never kissed a man with a beard before. And I reached over, I put my hand on her shoulder, and I said, you know what, Logan, I never have either.
Yeah.
And I don't plan to. She started laughing.
You're like, all right, but bearded lady, no.
Yeah. But but tall vampire lady? Yes.
Oh my God, everyone's so obsessed with Lady Dimitrescu.
Mm-hmm.
How much you want to bet it actually was pronounced Dimitrescu? And then when they realized that she was taking off as like a sex symbol, they're like, no, we need to make it sound more like dominatrix.
Well, it's Romanian, I think, and I've heard a couple people online who are Romanian. They're like, this is how you pronounce it, and it sounds nothing like it's spelt. I mean, it sounds a little like it's spelt, but not really, you know?
I mean, they couldn't even be bothered to use Romanian accents, so I don't know why.
Yeah, Romania.
According to Nicole Tompkins, because I was watching her newest live stream, it was planned at one point to do accents, and then days went by and they were getting ready to start recording stuff, and she's like, so are they in, are they out? And they're like, they're out, we're not doing them.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I didn't realize she voices Elena in the opening too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Seems like she was destined to die in a fiery building. Couldn't happen in RE3, so it had to happen in 8. I won't count that as a spoiler because that's literally the first 20 minutes of the game, so don't yell at me, anybody.
Yeah. Plus, I don't really think it's a huge spoiler for the overall story.
Definitely worth checking that episode out later when you get a chance, because apparently the part was actually a little bigger. She had a different death at one point.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I have to say, I really love how much behind-the-scenes material they included with this, because as someone who's always wanted to act in video games, it's really great to see, behind the scenes.
Yeah. The girl who plays Angie, her, as the little doll that Donna Beneviento uses, her little, behind the scenes where she gets to act like the doll is cute as hell.
I think I've seen her do the little, run.
Yeah, she, runs back to Donna's character and kind of becomes a doll again. It's cute. I like it.
I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired of this Annabelle reject. Now, Chucky.
A day do way to Ethan Winters.
Spell Mia. Bitch. That is not correct. Shows how much you know. Ethan!
Not in front of Rose.
I'm not saying we get much from what we see, but I guarantee you she grows up hating her mom. Just a little bit.
I don't know. I don't know. We'll see.
So where are you at in the drawing?
Oh, not very far, to be honest. I probably got like almost half the body.
Cool. I can't wait to see it when it's done.
Yeah. Well, you're still not on Instagram, huh, Chavo?
I have like an Instagram somewhere, but I forgot the password.
Okay. Well,
When it comes to social media, I haven't gone further than Facebook, to be honest. I'm stubborn that way.
Gotcha. Well, if Raphael Painting is still in the chat, I don't know if he is or G1 Blaster is, but Raphael Painting, who you'll later find out is St. John, he does little painting miniatures. So if you're looking for somebody to help do exquisite painting on your miniatures, apparently you can commission him to do it. So check out his Instagram, Raphael Painting. Another artist in a way. Yeah, and I should say my Instagram is Cyberpunk Holiday. So if anyone watches this later and is curious, there you go.
Sounds like a good title for a story.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, I'm going to try and, I don't want to say rush through this, but I'm going to try and go move a little faster here. So you do all the talking now, Chavo. Go.
So how about those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles banana pies? Weren't they awful? No, I can't really speak one way or the other. I never actually got to try those. Green banana pudding, though, that is quite the interesting ingredient.
I would say.
Oh, okay. So we were talking. Let's see. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cast. I did not realize Corey Feldman wasn't in the second movie. I think he might have came back for the third, but I think they booted him from the second one because that's when he was kind of acting out. And they were like, you know what? We don't need the trouble. We're already not allowed to use your weapons in the movie, so...
He's like, all right, see you later, dudes.
Comes back, you know. All right, so what are we up to? Completely different voice. Like, wait a minute, what? I like that Robot Chicken sketch where I think it's Joey Fatone getting trained by Master Splitter. And he's like, only one of these turtles is voiced by Corey Feldman. And it's like, cowabunga, Reaganomics. Man, just one more movie and then I can get my life back on track. He's like, it's that one.
I remember that. God bless Adult Swim. Which, by the way, they're coming back with movies for a lot of their franchises like Metalocalypse, Aqua Teen, and something. Venture Brothers.
Oh yeah, all those shows that like ended and fans were disappointed. They kept showing reruns and they're like, "Oh yeah, viewership's still high. Maybe we can make more money by making one last, and end all be all for them."
Mm-hmm. Which is good because I think those shows deserve a definitive ending. Metalocalypse didn't get a season, I think 5 or something, and you didn't get to figure out what the ending was. So I'm glad it's coming back for that reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the reason behind a lot of their. I'm sure there's different reasons for various cancellations. I think Venture Bros was simply just the episodes were taking way too damn long to make.
Yeah, and apparently, I think Metalocalypse itself was costing like $1 million an episode, and they just weren't seeing
Yikes.
they weren't seeing like a good revenue come back for it or something.
Yeah, I can see why they kind of want to tie up some loose ends. What all shows are they doing? It's Metalocalypse, Venture Bros, Teen
And
Aqua Hunger Force.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Yeah, sorry,
It's all right.
I get mixed up sometimes.
Which did get its own theatrical movie release, and I did go watch it.
Yeah, they still play the movie version of the theme and say it's from the third on Adult Swim Radio.
Oh wow. Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. It wasn't that good a movie, I'll be honest, but it was a lot of fun. And that was around the time.
I mean,
Well, I was gonna say that
so
was
go
around
ahead.
the time that Jay and Silent Bob Strike Backs came out, so you could see what kind of humor was going on around that time.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's I don't know. It's one of those shows like I can get into episodes now and then, but man, if you sit through a marathon, which Adult Swim likes to do a lot of marathons of that show, uh, it got old. I'm just like, all right, this is fine. Can we get to something else now?
Yeah. Well, and then the things they tried to replace it with, like Tim and Eric. I didn't really like Tim and Eric. Or Tom Goes to the Mayor. That was okay. But stuff that came next wasn't that great. Although I will say Boondocks was pretty good.
Oh, Boondocks was great.
Mm-hmm.
I
Well,
haven't seen the newest season yet. I've heard mixed things.
yeah. I like when the grandpa gets what was it, a hoe for a girlfriend, and he
Oh, and the boys are trying to tell him.
yeah, he's like, she cheats at PlayStation. She ate all the Cheddar Bay biscuits.
She's bad, Grandpa. She's bad.
Yeah, you have to leave her, Grandpa. She's bad.
Oh yeah, Adult Swim. They had a pretty good thing going for a while, and then there's kind of that dark period of time where it was like you could tell they were putting more money into live action stuff because it's faster to shoot and it's faster to produce,
Mm-hmm.
and I can see why people would enjoy it. Personally, I was never a huge fan of Children's Hospital, but I'm like, all right, this is for those who get bored of watching Office on repeat over and over again. Step it up with some more absurdist comedy.
Yeah, I think it was that, and what was the other one? Moral Oral.
I enjoy the hell out of Moral Oral. That was a great show, and I wish that one got a more proper conclusion.
I liked parts of it. I think overall it was a little too boring for me, but there were certainly parts where, like when he smokes crack, stuff like that was hilarious because you didn't expect to see a Mormon kid smoking crack.
Was he more?
I thought he was, or was he just straight
No,
up Christian?
Christian.
Okay.
He was like hardcore Christian.
Oh, all right. Well, yeah, and then he was. I know because I know at one point he was going around Bible thumping. So.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, it was that show goes some places.
Yeah, and for anyone watching, it's not. I'm not saying anything against Christians or anything. It's just it's a show. It's funny,
Yeah.
but yeah, It's an old show too. And
Watching a child slowly get disillusioned, by the horrible people around him, and just kind of realizing, like, wow, like there's not many great people. My dad's terrible. My parents are terrible. Even the people I look up to, there's moments of light sprinkled about, but overall, it's just kind of, I don't know. I feel like they kind of toned that balance more. I feel like they tone that balance pretty well compared to some of the stuff they put out now, like Rick and Morty, where it's just nihilistic nightmare.
yeah, I love Rick and Morty though. I can't help it.
Maybe my brain just isn't developed enough to fully comprehend all the humor and all the jokes in the show.
Don't do that to yourself. Don't let the fans win, Chavo.
No, I enjoy Rick and Morty plenty. I feel like they do give themselves some the occasional rare heartwarming moment.
Yeah, and aside from the absurdity, there is an underlying message in most of it, I will say.
And it's definitely not the intent of the show to be like, yeah, no, Rick is totally misunderstood. Everyone should want to be him. I do agree with Dan Harmon when he's like, no, the show's very clear. You don't want to be him. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah. But I should say too is that most of my enjoyment from these shows, and I'm not putting them down, but most of my enjoyment did come from me being extremely stoned in high school to enjoy and laugh at these shows. Because I used to smoke a lot of pot back in high school.
So that's how you justify your love of Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
I mean, I still love Aqua Teen. There's some good ass episodes in that, even if they didn't make a whole lick of sense. Like the Brood Witch or the Clowning, I think it's called, where what's his name, the neighbor Carl, gets that wig.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw that one.
Yes, it's been a while.
Yeah.
I remember bits and pieces. Like I remember when the swimming pool in the back, and they had like Siren, who was like singing everything and like seduces Carl, and then turns out she just used him as like an egg sack.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then they're like everyone's like, shit, I had sex with her too, and like they all just explode.
I mean, who can forget MCP pants, right? Bubblegum and taffy.
There's another one I remember. I think they had like mold growing, and then it became sentient, and they ended up befriending it. Or Meatwad ended up befriending it.
Of course.
And he ends up sacrificing himself, a la Jesus, to save Master Shake. And he's just like eating him to survive. And he's like, oh, this is an intense pain. Don't watch. And Master Shake's like, no, watch.
Oh, yeah. Isn't it in the attic that this takes place?
I think so. I'm pretty sure the molds like grew in the sink, and then like it ended up getting in the attic for its room or something.
Yeah, I remember that one. The Brood Witch, the Moon Knights, Moon Knights. I don't remember what they were called.
Oh, those things that were wasn't it like based off of a scrapped Atari game, or maybe it was one that actually did get released?
Yeah, something like that. Sorry if this isn't in the light, everyone. I'm not paying attention. Yeah, so anyway, Adult Swim did have some good shows, and I'm glad they're finishing them off. I think it's well deserved to the creators, and it's a little bit, even more well deserved to the fans who wanted to see their shows have a definitive conclusion.
Yeah, it's always great when you get that finale you never thought you were going to get.
Yeah, I know my roommate, Nessa, She Loves My Name is Earl, and she never got a conclusion for that show.
I feel her pain. I really hate. There's sort of a conclusion in the show Greg Garcia did afterwards, Raising Hope. They make an offhand reference. A local man trying to cross off every bad deed on his list succeeded recently, like in a background news report. I'm like, oh, well, that's nice.
There's like a quick way to end it ending.
Kind of like, in case you were still wondering. Which, nice to know they take place in the same universe, but still, I think everyone would have preferred a finale movie or something.
That makes sense.
The only time I think I've ever been content with a show not being fully wrapped up was probably Twin Peaks.
Oh, well, yeah, that's... I mean, we already had to wait years to even get part 3, so...
And then we basically just got, David Lynch artistically jerking it for 18 episodes.
Mm-hmm. Was it really that many? Jeez.
Yeah. Like, at first I was like, oh, cool, he wants to push for more episodes so he can, answer more... Well, I shouldn't say explicitly to answer more questions, but to give us more, context for the story. And then after a while, I'm like, oh, no, you just wanted more episodes so you can do more of this.
Don't you like it, kiddo?
What? Did you want me to do another Mulholland Drive? Yes! It was comprehensive. Like, I could actually follow the plot. It was a good movie. I asked for another Mulholland Drive, not another Eraserhead. And even Eraserhead was more straightforward than this shit.
That's right, kiddo.
If I wanted to sit through 18 episodes of Naomi Watts yelling at someone, I would have sat through those god-awful Ring movies.
Rain movies?
Or Ring movies.
Mm. You okay over there, Chava?
Oh, I'm just dying. It's okay.
You're slowly dying, man. It's part of life.
First you're born, then you die.
Then you go to hell where they play Vanilla Ice all day.
Go, ninja. No, ninja. No.
Go to hell. Go, 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 go.
Go, ninja. No, ninja. No. No, you don't even get that. You get the crappy macaroni and cheese version, commercial version of that song, because no, you don't get the original master. You get whatever he was singing. It was like, go mac and cheese, go mac and cheese, go.
Oh man, there are a lot more verses to that song that aren't in the movie, which is scary.
So are they like R-rated verses or?
No, but they're just like, okay, I've listened to this song far too long. The movie played it at a general rate I needed it to be. Like any more, and it's just not good.
So what you're saying is they edited it expertly, so we had just enough where we wouldn't get sick of it.
Yeah. It's not like Kiss from a Rose where you just want to put it on repeat, of course.
The Green Tower. No, we're not doing that.
I remember back in the day because MTV was going to play it anyway, but they actually put it as like at the end of the VHS you could you got the actual music video.
I had the VHS back in the day, and I never watched it that far. I missed out. It's like the movie's over. Go home.
Oh, you're still here.
Bruce Wayne. You go home. I already banged Chase. We're good.
Chase Meridian?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love there was a meme I saw for that where that movie is like, I really love the character of Chase Meridian. She has goals and she follows through on them, and that goal happens to be banging the ever loving shit out of Batman.
Well, I think she breaks kayfabe a little bit because I think she says black rubber. Like his suit is made of black rubber, and it's like, shouldn't you say like black armor, body armor, or something?
Yeah, except I think her mind was somewhere else.
Nessa said it so many times, my roommate. She's like, if I ran into somebody that looked like Val Kilmer, damned if I do, damned if I don't.
Well, you got to specify what era Val Kilmer are we talking about? Because these days, no.
No, but she means like Ghosts of Darkness, Batman Forever. What's the Tom Cruise movie? Top Gun, Val Kilmer.
Yeah. No, I got that one. I get that.
Yeah. So, I mean, as a straight guy, you can look at another guy and be like, of course chicks would love that guy,
Which will lead us to our next poll. Which Batman would you bang?
Coming up next, the Batman I would bang. Here on Crypt to the Unknown.
A surprising turn of events. Adam West won. I was not seeing that, but all right.
I could see people liking Adam West when he was younger.
Well, he wasn't as creepy as Burt Ward was about that type of stuff. I don't know if you ever heard about his autobiography, where he talks about how like all the groupies wanted to bang them. I think at one point he uses bat penis as like a term, and I'm just like, Bert, no.
I hate to break it to you, Chavo, but I actually owned a signed copy of it.
I don't know if I should say good for you or be disappointed.
Yeah, and
did you read it before you got it signed?
Well, you buy it off his website is how you get it signed, and I don't think it's really expensive because he's like married to a billionaire or something, but a humanitarian billionaire, I should say. So that's kind of good. But I should note for people who are interested, yeah, Chavo's right. Burt Ward's book is completely trashy. There are cool parts in it. There are cool stories that he tells about him and Adam West.
It just feels like the 1960s Batman equivalent of that trashy Dustin Diamond Saved by the Bell autobiography.
Mm-hmm.
Where he's just like, yeah, everyone was fucking everyone, and they were doing drugs.
Oh, wow, that reminds me of the new did you see that new documentary that came out on Hulu?
Which one?
The 90s one with
Kid 90s?
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, I did actually. I'm kind of mixed on it. Like, I really like Soleil Moon Frye, and
mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed getting to see like a lot of these actors. Like, I grew up watching their movies and their TV shows, and getting to see like them when they weren't on the set and just being kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she has a very poetic way of spinning things, and that's great. However, I still feel I don't think she means to, but I feel like she kind of sugarcoats just some things just a little bit, and I'm like, mainly the Charlie Sheen part, where I'm like, I am so glad it was a positive experience for you, and I can see why it is, but it still feels weird, especially in today's context.
Yeah, and I think I should clarify for everyone. I believe it's that she lost her virginity to Charlie Sheen.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was her first consensual sexual experience.
Which, good for him. Because she is one
Yeah,
beautiful lady.
at least he treated her well, which yeah. And again, in comparison to her another horrible experience she details not too long before that. Yeah, no, he was really nice to her, and he treated her right for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
However, especially given because he tweeted a reaction to it where he's just like, he gave like a thumbs up, and I'm just kind of like, it's one of those things where you feel like it was a nicer experience for her. For him, it was just kind of,
In between
business.
all their craziness, their lives, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's life, I mean, sometimes you kind of have one-off experiences with people, sex or otherwise, where it's like, that was nice. That was a nice thing. I'm going to hold on to that memory. It may not mean as much to them, but it's whatever. Move on.
Yeah, I think I've felt like I've had those in my life before. Definitely one-offs. That, and I'm not even just talking sex specifically, but people I've met that I got really close to and intimate with, and, good people that and funny enough, like, I would try to find them on Facebook or something, and they'd try to find me, and, like, hey, what's been going on? Oh, you're married. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was never, I think that's good, though, that she had that, because we all need a little reprieve from the mess of life sometimes.
Yeah, and I just think it was impressive how much she documented, like, her life at that point, especially in a time when, in the 90s when smartphones weren't really a thing.
Yeah, it's smart of her to do that. No pun.
It really does feel like, moments that would have been lost to the sands of time.
Mm-hmm.
My heart kind of broke for the Jonathan Landis parts. But not Jonathan, Jonathan Brandis, sorry.
He was the blonde kid, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was a talented actor. He was one of the stronger kid actors in the 1990s version of It. His monologue where he, is begging his friends to help him is just heartbreaking.
Yeah, isn't he Bill and he stutters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hot take. I thought he was a better take on that character than the newer version that came out.
Right. Well, I'm not gonna say anything bad about either one because the new version was.
It succeeded in some things, but I do take issues with it because I don't feel like the friendship between the children was as strong in that one, which is insane because the whole thing that saves them, the thing that keeps them alive and keeps them safe is their bond.
Right.
And if you don't have that, why would they keep going?
Right. So, it's good to have more money put towards horror to where you can get great special effects and lots of gore and, a lot of time is put into creature creation and shit like that. And you can hire the best people in the industry for it, especially practical effects. But I still feel at the end of the day, you got to have an airtight story because none of that shit matters if you don't. And unless it's like obviously a low budget movie, then it works in its favor.
Yeah, like the horror aspects, like the monsters and stuff, the new Penny, like I really enjoyed Bill Skarsgård's take on Pennywise. I thought it was great that he took the time to actually craft a version that was his own and not just rip off Tim Curry, which is good. Anytime you're taking over or anytime you're adapting a role that Tim Curry has filled, you never want to copy.
It's impossible to replicate.
Yeah, you're just going to have an audience that's like, why am I not watching that version right now?
Yeah. Although his voice is just like I always wonder like how do actors come up with voices because it's creepy. It's a good creepy voice, but it's also playful, you know, which is the best part about it. And like when even he's like taunting them, it just sounds so good. Like when he's like, "Huh, am I not real enough for you, Billy?" You know, there's just something
Yeah,
playful about it.
but you know the horror effects for the new movie, they're fantastic, and it's great that they are able to utilize that R rating to an extent. And maybe my opinion will change if they ever get around to releasing that director's cut they keep teasing. But as it
Oh,
stands,
yeah.
I feel like what's the word I'm looking for? I want to say pathos. The
Uh,
pathos of the story wasn't there.
it's a mishmash because it feels there's moments where it feels like it is, and then it goes off course and comes back. It course
Because
corrects
then we gotta stop.
constantly. Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta remind people. Oh yeah, by the way, this is the R-rated it. This isn't your TV miniseries. And I just feel like so much time was put into just showcasing the horror aspects. They ditched that, and the fact that the miniseries manages to encapsulate it, in my opinion, at least when I saw it as a kid, still be scary and tell the exact same story in less time, because both parts of the movie are both the original the original miniseries is actually shorter than the movies are.
Mm-hmm. Which says a lot.
That one was written by Lawrence Cohen, who wrote the 1970s version of Carrie. And I don't know what it is with him and Stephen King, but they gel really well together. He really knows how to write a King adaptation.
Yeah, he understands it.
But again, if those kids don't feel like friends because they're just too busy kind of spouting off one-liners and trying to get jabs in at each other, and I'm just like, And then there's what they did to oh God, what's his name? He was Mike. It's what they did to Mike Hanlon, because they kind of keep him separate from the group for like a good chunk of the story, and then he just kind of lands in there because they're obligated to have him merge with the group at some point,
Well, he's
as
almost.
opposed to the original.
Yeah, I was just gonna
Oh,
say
sorry,
he's
go ahead.
almost like the Winston of the story.
Yeah, which is not an '80s trope they should have borrowed from, to be honest.
Yeah, and Winston, if anyone doesn't know, I mean Ghostbusters, the only black character, who like even when like it sets up scenes like the courtroom scene or something where he could be there and proton pack with them. It's like he's just, hey, I'm out of here, guys, and he's just missing, which is a terrible. It sucks, but at the same time, it's what we grew up with, so there's just nothing you can do to change it.
Yeah, but there is when we're writing the movies that take inspiration for that. I've
Yeah.
it's something I've kind of addressed a bit with like Stranger Things, where it's like you can tell where they're pulling inspiration from, but when you're pulling inspiration from media of the '80s, you really do need to be aware of the shortcomings of that media as well. Like, yeah, Indiana Jones was kind of a sexist dick. Yeah, maybe this character being so aggressive sexually towards this character seemed cool back then. Nowadays, it's kind of just harassment.
Yeah. I mean, I think that Back to the Future did a good job where it's like, yeah, you're gonna be mayor one day, and he's like, yeah, mayor. It's like, it's yeah, he gets to be mayor once people aren't racist anymore, and he's not a busboy.
Yeah. Now, just don't question things like why my father would employ Biff to work for us, even though he canonically tried to rape my mother in this timeline.
Yeah. Well, he seems like a forgiving person. I'm gonna say that's the.
Yeah, but that's kind of a big thing to forgive. Like, yeah, you tried to sexually assault my wife at prom, but you know what? You seem like a good guy, Biff.
Well, he also, if you don't remember, he kind of does enjoy saying like, "Hit now, Biff. I am paying
Don't
you
make
for
me bitch
two
slap you.
waxes." Yeah.
Don't make me dock your pay, you piece of shit.
Yeah. So he kind of does lord over him in a way. I don't know. I love Back to the Future. I think it might be one of those 80s movies that doesn't fall into too many 80s movie tropes. It's pretty solid.
Yeah, that's why it's timeless. Although it's funny because I was at Target today and I was just complaining about this. My friend tried getting me to buy the trilogy on Blu-ray, and it's like I already own the trilogy. And I look, and I was like, also they re-release this damn trilogy like literally every year. And he's like, no, they don't. And I went and grabbed another copy of the trilogy collection that was completely different covered, and I'm like, you want to try that again?
I have one of them. I have a trilogy on DVD that's like it's a blue case. A blue slip case.
That's the one. That's the first. That was the first one I ever had. I like the menus on that one.
Yeah, it's not a bad one. I want to say it's not. It's probably not the best one. I'm guessing, but it's not a bad one for DVD wise.
I think that was actually like the first time the trilogy was put on, put in a trilogy blue DVD pack.
Yeah, my record shop, which I frequent a lot here, that's where I get most of my comics and shit. They had it for $20, and they had another one that was in a better condition for like 40. So I'm guessing it's like a really good, sought after version.
Yeah. Like I said, the menus are great. I love how they're all of the courthouse, but they change with each movie. It's the courthouse and the time period that he visits. So there's the 50s courthouse, there's the 2015 courthouse, and then there's the Wild Wild West courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
My history teacher actually showed Back to the... We had a lesson on Back to the Future, and it was basically him just pointing out the little Easter eggs that, like recurring gags in the movie. He's the reason why I know the mall sign changes from Twin Pines Mall to Lone Pine Mall.
Oh yeah. I miss the 80s deeply, Chavo. I miss the era where creators, directors got to put crazy shit out. Now today everything seems so fabricated, and it's like, oh, this isn't going to make us... Yeah, this ain't going to make us $1 million. Well, why the fuck did we buy it? Let's just put it back in the vault.
Yeah. You can thank the international film market for that one. It's like, is this going to do well in China? No, shelve it.
Thank you, glutamine hydration. I really appreciate it. Long night. I wasn't gonna finish it tonight, but you know what? Me and Chavo are having a good conversation, so forget it. We're doing it. We're gonna finish this.
Woohoo!
Yeah, and Chavo he's not even watching this. He's playing Resident Evil 8 trying to get the platinum before me, so which I don't blame him.
Put it like that.
I figured it was you, Zach. Thank you. Zach has also been on the show at one point in the Batman and Robin drawing episode, which I'm actually going to do a how to draw Bill Finger like Adam West Batman and Robin for his son Dimitri at some point. I keep putting it off because I haven't really had that many days to practice, because it's an easy drawing, but I have to think about it as if a kid's going to follow what I'm doing, then I got to get it right. But yeah, it's coming along. It's going to happen. I haven't forgotten.
It's funny you bring up Adam West Batman. I just finished building the 1960s Batmobile Lego set today.
Yeah, I should have mentioned that. Chavo just got the 1960s Batmobile. He put it together today. He sent me a picture. A terrible picture, by the way. I thought you were into film and stage. What happened? Anyway.
I'm working with a discount smartphone, all right? Send me $1,000 iPhone and let's talk.
Still takes a shitty picture on purpose. No.
just my middle finger.
Yeah. But no, he had a 1960s, I'm starting to sound like Leon, 1960s Batmobile, and it looks amazing. I'm actually considering getting the set tonight, so
I would strongly recommend it. It's great because it's presented very much as a collector item. It's got its own display stand. It's got a little placard that you can put underneath it that has like the stats of the vehicle. It's great. Like one of them's like, "What's the fuel it takes?" Bat fuel. Goes from 0 to 90 in like 5 seconds.
Yeah, that'd be cool if they had what is it? Bat shark repellent in it.
I do have a little Lego bat shark repellent.
Oh, that's awesome.
It came with Robin from the Batman Lego movie.
Yeah, I should mention Chavo. Much like me as a comic book fiend, Chavo is a Lego maniac.
I didn't get to build all the sets I wanted as a kid, so I've been making up for it as an adult. I got a little city. It's great.
Yeah, he has an actual city of Legos. It's even got a comic shop, which I was very proud of him for.
Complete with action figures and a clerk that's probably been working there way too long.
Yeah. Excuse me, this Batman #1 is not worth that much.
I will gladly trade you for these 3 crusty issues of barbed wire.
He also sells his crusty burger in here, if you remember the commercial. If you can find a greasier burger, you're in Mexico.
I am still pissed they never got around to doing a Lego Krusty Burger. They did a Simpsons line, and they did Quickie Mart and the Simpsons house, and I think they prematurely killed the line because parents were complaining it was too risque.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Simpsons was too mature for children, to be building Lego sets for. But I'm kind of like, okay, but now we have sets based off of Friends, and I'm pretty sure they fuck constantly in that series.
Well, it's that stupid argument. It's like video games are violent, but I love my violent movies.
All right, I got Combo King. Sweet. That's another trophy down.
All right. Hold on. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab another beer.
I'll be here shit talking you.
Yeah, please.
I actually don't have anything mean to say, at least in public. Subscribe to my channel, though, at www.ihatestuffin.com, and you will enjoy plenty of insults that you can comfortably steal. Things you probably wouldn't even feel comfortable saying to Hitler. Think high school cheerleader, but meaner. But no, he's pretty cool.
All right, I'm back. Sorry, my ears were ringing.
Oh, no, I was just saying nothing but lovely comments, I swear. He definitely won't be like, fuck you when you're going and editing this later.
Actually, I don't edit the live streams. I just let them be as they are.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, I forget my place right now. Well, anyway, yeah, we can all agree no one will discuss the things that were just discussed. Anywho.
Yeah, I don't know. I gotta get Webb on a live stream at some point, but he's just so
elusive.
Yeah, he's busy. You have the wait. Zach says, "Is it a Lego Batmobile?" Yes, it is. I have the Lego Adam West Batcave with Batmobile and 9 characters from the show / movie.
I am super jealous. I wanted that set, but I just did not have the funds at the time, which is why I grabbed the 1960s Batmobile as soon as it became available by itself. It's not much different from what I've heard in reviews. It's not too different from what that Batmobile was. They're just slight design changes. Yes.
Yes.
But it's great. It comes with Adam West Batman and Cesar Romero Joker, painted over mustache and all.
Yeah. And I've always pointed this out. People get mad about, like, that character is black, but in this thing it's white. And it's like, yeah, I understand. I completely understand. You want to see the character just as it looks in the game, in that movie, or that comic book, or whatever. I get it. You just want to see the exact same thing, but on the movie screen. I get it. But at this point, you have to realize, too, that it doesn't really matter. It just doesn't
You know
really
what
matter.
other movie gave us characters that looked like they walked right off the screen? The Resident Evil movies.
Mhm.
And were any of them good?
No.
First one aside, no.
No.
Yeah, we had Resident Evil 4 Ada and Resident Evil 4 Leon hanging out in that movie. Could they act worth a damn? No.
No. But I understand. I understand the anger. I completely get the reasoning. But at the same time, it just doesn't really matter.
If they can do the performance, if they can do the character justice, I don't care.
Yeah. Although I will say, maybe the only character that it would be, I don't want to say weird, but it would just be like so far. What's the best way to put this? And I'm not even thinking of a PC way, but like, it would be so shocking and surprising and different is to see like a black Superman.
Oh, careful now that you don't want to trigger some people. It's just like, no! Kryptonians have to always be white, god damn it!
Yeah. Just like Jesus.
Exactly. And then they'll be like, but I'm totally okay with a black Zod. It's like, of course you would be.
Sorry, I just realized I've been drawing this out of frame. I haven't even looked over. Hold on a second.
Technical difficulties. Do, 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 do.
There we go. Alright, so I actually have to wait till the video comes back and see where I'm at.
Are we on pause right now, or are we still streaming?
No, we're still streaming. I mean, like, the video, there's a lag in my end on the video to see where the camera went after I moved it, so now I know where it's at.
Gotcha.
We're almost done. I have to draw this leg, and actually, let me see if I could turn the light on, because I've been using my phone. Let's see how the light looks. If it washes out the drawing, and if anyone doesn't remember, earlier in this, the white was, yeah, it's still kind of washing it out. I usually do this during the daytime, so sorry.
No, try not to apologize too much for your work.
Yeah, but I should have been more prepared, and it happens. But it's almost there, and it's looking pretty neat. I'll send you a picture afterwards, Chavo. Zach said he's not too attached to anything so much to get mad about changes to a character from any property, and I agree. But then people would make the argument, well, what if Sheva was white in a movie? And it's like, well, you're taking the minor character, the only person of color, out of the whole thing, you know?
We're never going to be short on white characters. Whether people want to admit it or not, we are never going to be short.
Yeah, and I know
This thought that we're going to be replaced is really stupid.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people were complaining about Resident Evil, the new movie, how Leon looks, well, they said a lot of racist shit, but that he's not Caucasian, and that Jill's not Caucasian, and there's another thing they have to remember in their RE lore books, which they clearly didn't have out, is that Jill is half Asian, half French, and Leon is Italian, right, Chavo? Or he's half Italian?
Yeah, he has Italian. Originally, he had Italian heritage. I'm not 100% sure that's still canon. I know for 1.5 that was a thing. He actually had a different shaped nose. That was the only thing. That was one of the two things they adjusted from his character model was his nose, and they removed a knife holster.
Yeah, and I remember I told someone that who's saying all this racist stuff, and I was like, you have to remember, like, he's like Italian, I believe, and they're like, well, Italians are white, and I'm like, that's pretty racist, dude. Not true.
I want to say he's probably still Italian, just because. I have a feeling at least there's Easter eggs for it because RE4, the later editions, have that Godfather costume where he looks like a mobster, which not great, kind of stereotypical, but still.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
maybe that's their nod to it. Like, yeah, no, he's still Italian.
he's still in the mafia.
Ada, wait, get me some pasta fazool.
Ada, wait. You know what? It's pretty interesting. Is back in the day, and this is a comic book fact. The mafia used to have printing presses where they would try to replicate printing U.S. currency. And this is the lore.
Right.
And there were all these illustrators who were looking for good work, and they would find good work with the mafia because the mafia would run out of, like, whatever it was to print, like, fake money. So they had to, like, come up with different ways to just use their printing press and, make money. So what they would do is they would make these things called, oh man, what are they called? Like Italian. If G1 Blaster's still in the chat, maybe he might know. They're called like Italian holdings or something, or French holdings. And what they were porn comics where they would take trademark characters like Popeye and Olive Oil or something, and they'd make 5-page porn comics and sell those after printing them and hiring an artist.
Rule 34.
Yeah, so it's just this crazy thing where, like, back in the day, the mafia used to print porn comic books based off already owned properties to get, money. And
I hear the ones for Archie Comics is what inspired Riverdale.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of people know that. And I when I found that out, I thought that was just one of the most interesting facts in the world. Because I wish I owned one. I forgot what they're called, though. There's a name for them.
Nudies, crudies.
They're like called Italian Holdings or something. I forget. There's like a name. It's not a racist name, but it's just something that they called them back in the day. Anyway, I'm rambling.
I love how the conversation moves from Leon S. Kennedy to porn comics. That's the beautiful thing about our conversations.
Yeah. I've actually probably just had too long a day. Can't focus tonight.
Well, that's all right. We were inevitably going to run out of Ninja Turtle shit to talk about.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we're almost done, kiddos.
Are we doing a kid show now?
Oh, wow. You know what? If Dimitri does draw the turtles, like Leo, I don't know if you can scan it and send it to me, but if you do, I'll show it on the show, too, before the Batman thing. Just let me know, Zach. But yeah. Did you want to plug your thing that you're going to do at some point again, Chava?
No, not right now.
Okay.
There'll come a time, but I don't want to overplug it when I still have some work to do.
Yeah, you do.
I know. Get busy.
Mm-hmm. Alright, just going to add some final textures here into the leg. And then we'll move on to the rest of the leg and then the arm, and we'll be done. And I will not rest until it's finished. I'm just kidding, I might. Who knows?
Hey, it's always good. Self-care is important, kids.
Yeah. Which I am not good at. I like to work when it comes to drawing and writing. I'll do it all day. Alright.
Don't forget to take your breaks, drink your water, rest your eyes. I'm playing Mercenaries right now, and I really love how the castle is pretty much just mostly the same area.
Yeah, they didn't really change much. Which, by the way, Zach, I saw your comment. If I, Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, do it. But I saw your comment about you couldn't get Resident Evil 8 till a little bit. If I didn't collect my Resident Evil 8 cases like I did my other games, which I usually just sell because I probably never play them again, I'd send it to you. But, it's good that you're responsible. Responsible father.
Apologies. I hope my talking about it didn't feel like rubbing in, and I didn't mean to do that.
No. I mean, if that were the case, he probably would have left over blood.
I'm actually surprised. I was expecting more thirst posts about Lady Dimitrescu, but I'm guessing people are just over it now.
Yeah, I think it came and went just as rapidly. I don't know. Maybe it's Robert St. John that's also in the chat. I don't know who that other person is. G1 or Robert?
Identify yourself.
Yeah. Are there 4 lights? Sorry, that's a Star Trek callback.
I'm a bad Trekkie. I didn't catch that one.
Yeah. It's like one of the most famous Picard episodes.
Which one?
It's the one where he's tortured and they're trying to break him by saying there's only 3 lights, and he keeps saying no, there's 4 lights.
The dress is blue. No, the dress is white.
Oh my god.
Damn it, Jean-Luc. Think.
Zach said that it wants to make him play RE8 more, that he's seeing the RE8 posts. Well, that's good.
Plenty of content.
Yes, there's definitely plenty of content.
A friend of mine from work is actually playing through the game right now for the first time, because it's his first time he's able to like relax and concentrate enough to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
I kept throwing fake spoilers his way.
Did you?
Yeah, I was just like, man, the part where Lady D turned out to be Ethan's mom, that was intense. I mean, Jesus Christ. Talk about an Oedipus complex, right?
That's so mean. Did he buy it?
No, because they were so outlandish where it's like, no one's gonna buy that. And they're like, yeah, and I didn't think Chris would have decided to just take that virus into his body because he wanted something stronger than those anabolic steroids he was abusing. But hey, I mean, to each their own. Just doesn't seem like a good character choice. I need this. Chris, put the dumbbells down.
Finally realizing he's never going to be a pro wrestler.
It's okay. It's okay. Barry, help me with Chris.
Barry. Did you ever like wrestling,
Barry.
Chava?
Oh yeah, when I was a kid, I was into it. I had wrestling action figures and a wrestling ring, and I'd have them slam and go over the rope and all that good shit.
Nice. Who was your favorite wrestlers?
Oh, I'd say Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock.
Oh, you were a WWF guy. All right.
Yeah. Oh man, you should have seen that wrestling place that I had. It was the shit. They had like steel cage and like the walkway with metal letters for the WCF.
I never got to sadly play with WWF stuff. I was a WCW guy, and so were all my friends.
Actually, now that I think about it, that might have been a WCW set, but I didn't care because it's like, whatever, it's a ring I can throw my figures around on.
Yeah. I remember the PS1 games. They were awful. And then I finally got the 64 ones, like WCW, NWO, and Revenge, and those were badass back in the day. Did you have a 64?
I have owned a 64 once in my entire life. I wanted one as a kid, and then we finally got one from a friend, and we only had a handful of games. Like it was Star Wars Pod Racing, GoldenEye. I want to say a Mario Kart 64. And
yeah, that was
I didn't get to play it too often. And then we moved, and my brother took it upon himself to give it away, even though it was both of ours.
Why would he give it away?
Because he's that type of asshole.
Wow. To answer your question, Zach, yes, Chris was in RE7 at the end, and he, yes, was also in the DLC. It's fine.
Looking appropriate, finally.
Yeah, and it's okay that your comments are behind. It brings us back to what we were talking about, because we just go off. But no, he was in there. I would say Chris was my least favorite part of RE7, right, Chava?
If we're talking about in the main game proper, he's a blink. Well, I shouldn't say blink and you miss it. He's literally in like the last minute of the game. If we're talking about the DLC, which takes place after the end of the game, that was a terrible DLC.
Mm-hmm.
It is appalling just how hard the quality drops in the final act, starting in the final act, and just like going to that end of game DLC where it just keeps getting lower and lower, and it's like, wow, you can really tell there was a different writer between these two parts.
Yeah. Which again, and I always give this shit because it should get shit. Because anyone who's a writer that reuses shit pisses me off. And the guy who wrote Fear, which is about a little girl, paranormal shit, and her appearing everywhere and then disappearing, and all this stuff going on, is also the same guy who wrote Resident Evil 7, which is about a little girl who appears and disappears and paranormal quote-unquote stuff going on.
It doesn't bug me as much just because at least in in the context of the game, I feel like Evelyn worked. I liked her. I actually felt bad for her. The game didn't. Everyone's calling her a little bitch and stuff, and I'm like, she's a child, guys. Come on, she doesn't know. Like, I'm not going to excuse what she did, but in a way, yeah, she really didn't know better.
Yeah, I mean, she's a child at heart.
And in mental capacities too. Like she does, like, she understands what she's doing to a degree, but she doesn't know how to, like, actually attain she just wants a family. Like they do reiterate that, like, Jack, when he pleads to Ethan to save his family, he's like, no, she just wants a family, but still, like, please release my family from this.
Yeah.
Help us.
Yeah.
I think the worst part for me is pretty much how they just screw over Zoe in the story. Like, any chance she gets to, like, outside of the Daughters DLC, any chance she gets to, like, tell a story or, like, take control of the story, and we get to see what she's doing because she's interesting, the game takes it away and tosses us to a male character.
Yeah. I'm not as bent out of shape on it, but I still think it's a missed opportunity.
It's a recurring pattern that's starting to bug me because it just seems like any chance we get, it's RE3 remake fell into this problem too, and you can't deny that it wasn't incredibly, evident that they were like, oh, you know what, male gamers are going to feel alienated playing as a woman so long, so let's extend this Carlos segment and give him portions of Jill's story, even though it makes no sense or context.
Yeah, important parts and important portions of Jill's story, sadly.
Narrative beats that would have made a hell of a lot more sense for her to be involved in. But yeah, let's have Carlos do it, because we don't want to live in a cold Carlosless world.
Well, that's true. We don't. We need our Carloses. They make good tacos. That's racist. I'm just kidding.
Carlos is actually from Ecuador.
I know. Most people will be like, yeah, that's funny, but it's like, no, he's actually not. He's not Mexican.
Actually, I think he's South American.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been a while since I've looked it up.
But you're not wrong. He's not from Mexico. It's just the basic point I'm trying to make.
I'm just hoping it's not like someone goes and looks it up on RE Wiki and they're like, actually, he is Mexican. Way to go, guys. Good to see you know your facts.
Yeah. What about your RE lore book, asshole? No, he's not, no, if I remember correctly. He is South American.
I will say I do like his characterization in the remake better than the first one. Fucking Ricky Martin looking motherfucker, just like all the foxy ladies love my accent. Get bent. You're Canadian. Fuck off.
If I'm being honest with you, Zach, I'm not sure. I'm sure they hired him to write a story. He came up with a concept, they approved it, and then he wrote it. Based in RE7 is what he's asking about.
Yeah, he I don't know the guy's name, but I know he wrote the main story, and then the DLC, which concludes the fate of the Baker children, was written, I believe, by a Japanese writer. And this is all this is all like rumors, but from what I've heard from a credible source who's leaked a lot of inside info about the games before, apparently the guy who wrote End of Zoe was someone who was on the development team for PT. And they gave him free reign because everyone was going gaga and wouldn't shut the fuck up about PT. And they're like, oh, yeah, this guy, he probably knows real horror, right?
Right.
Which anyone who's played the DLC knows that's so not the case, because we have a relative of the Bakers who we, up until this point, have never heard of, stepping in to save Zoe. Instead of Zoe, trying to escape and, save herself, she's crystallized, literally turned into an object, and this uncle has to show up and punch his way to save her life. Like he has to punch enemies, and I'm just like, this is stupid Capcom here, right? This is some Dead Rising 4 shit.
It really was.
And it's so bad. I'm pretty sure they low-key retcon it out in RE8 because there's a Baker report, the Baker incident report, and they make no mention of him whatsoever.
Yeah, the whole thing with Jack and Zoe and everything is kind of dumbed down to the BSAA covered it up. Good job. And the whole area is contaminated for a decade. These aren't really spoilers. It's just a note you find. And now people can't go there. And it's basically because they want to make sure that the mold doesn't, get out and there's no sort of breach.
Yeah, they have to make sure the area is sterile. I think even Mia mentions it when she's in her possessed state at the beginning of the game. Must burn everything.
Mm-hmm. Which we should never forget that Mia is an awful person. The series kind of has already, but she is awful.
There's I'm not going to go into detail about her role in RE8 because I don't want to spoil it for anyone who's waiting. But I'm just going to say there's things she needs to answer for.
Yeah. First off, the connections, which is what she was working under and with, is directly part of what Albert Wesker was doing. So, enough said.
I feel bad because I just realizing now there's a connection, and I can say this because this isn't in the final game, so it's not a spoiler. She works for the same. She's at least originally she was supposed to be working for the same organization Ada Wong worked for.
Right.
And Ada Wong was originally supposed to be in RE8. They ended up cutting her out.
Yeah, she had some cool clothing on. Sorry, I gotta find my ruler.
Yeah, it was kind of a derivative of Jill Valentine's bird outfit from RE5.
Yep.
But I can't knock it too much because they're both referencing the traditional Plague Doctor mask, which, anyone who's seen it has that really long beak.
Yeah.
But I just realized that makes more sense her being involved in the story because they're coworkers. So I can tell if she was probably tracking Mia down in the original version of the story.
It'd be interesting if it was the killer.
Yeah.
Because the connections is still a thing.
The commentary mentions she was supposed to help Ethan originally in the story, so I have a feeling she would have been support. She likes to pretend to be an anti-hero, but she still very much errs on the side of good.
Yeah.
I remember when it was kind of controversial when they did Operation Raccoon City and she was listed under the villains team. And everyone's like, but she's not a villain. And I'm like, I agree, but they needed at least one more villain to fill out their team, so there she goes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was gonna add some awesome like anime lines to the background here, where it's just like all around, and I can't find my ruler. I don't know where it's at, and I don't want to use a piece of paper and screw it up. But yeah, basically I'm done. I finished the turtle. Let me see if I can raise this up a little and show it to you. Let's see what it looks like.
If I could say it, I'd probably rate it a 9.9.5.
So yeah, that's my Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman Ninja Turtle. And I had a lot of fun drawing it. Again, it's very rough, and it's meant to look that way on purpose because I wanted to replicate kind of what the comic books did and how they looked. And obviously, I don't have duotone or duo shade, so I kind of gotta, you know, use a marker to do it and make it kind of look that way. But it came out okay, and I'm happy with it. I think the arm down here is a little too small, and the foot wasn't exactly, how it's supposed to be, but it looks all right. And I thank everyone for coming and watching me do this. I had a lot of fun talking. What about you, Chava?
I did too. It was a good time.
Yeah. And we've been going for I don't know, a long ass time. I can't find it. It won't show me on the thing. I think it's been over 2 hours though, or at least an hour. You should play the old games too, Zach. Honestly, if you really wanna get into Resident Evil, I would play the older games. He said he's only played 7.
Yeah, I would highly recommend that. If there's any way to get your hands on classic 2 and 3, definitely use that to be your first time experience. Like, I feel like you'll appreciate the remakes more if you know where they came from.
Mm-hmm.
Now that the PSN store and PS3 lives to see another day, at least for now, if you have a PS3, or hell, even a PS Vita, like, snatch them if you can, because they're still there. The original trilogy is still up there.
It's still an amazing trilogy, the original one.
Yeah, and once you play those, you'll pretty much know a huge chunk of the lore already, because every other game after just keeps referencing them.
Basically.
This is just like Raccoon City. Next game. This is just like Raccoon City. Next game. This is just like Lanshang City. No, I'm just fucking with you. Raccoon City.
Again, anyone who's watching this or join later or anything, this was the lighting thing here was that I'm not going to let you look at yellow fluorescent light bulb light coming down coming down here onto the art. It looks like shit. So I'm using my phone to light it with a spotlight, and usually I draw during the day. So I'm sorry that this happened, and I'm going to try and continue drawing during the day, or at least they do sell these little, like, what are they called? Like little ring lights that have one of those, like, crazy necks where you can kind of, like, stick it in any direction you want. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've heard those mentioned in other videos from creators and stuff.
Yeah, and they use, like, 3 different ones so that the light contrasts and, it doesn't, one side isn't overpowering the other, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to try and do that, but here's the TMNT thing, and I don't know, I don't really have anything else to draw, and I got to be honest, kind of tired. I just realized it's been 2 hours and 40 minutes we've been doing this, so.
Well, if this were I shouldn't say if this is a professional job, but if this were any other job, there'd usually be a point where you take a break.
Yeah, so I'm going to try and get off here and go relax, because I've been working since noon and it's almost 11 at night. But I want to thank everyone for coming. I'm sorry?
I was going to say, crack open a cold one.
Yeah, and I'm definitely going to do that. I'm going to go sit outside and talk to Chavo and hang out and whatever. But I want to thank everyone for coming. Again, I don't know if it was G1 Blaster or if it was even just somebody else that I don't know who was also here with Zach. And I just want to thank everyone for coming and watching me draw. And again, this was meant to be a rough drawing. This is meant to be the way it looks. It's not my usual forte. So if you want to go see those videos, we have plenty. And Chavo was on a couple of them. The Alice one is actually at 99 views. So if I can get 100, I would appreciate that. I'm on Instagram under Cyberpunk Holiday. You can come follow me to look at more of my art and the crap I do, the dumb shit. And yeah, is there anything else you want to say, Chavo?
Nothing except it's been a pleasure, and I hope you guys didn't mind hearing us talk.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say, nothing.
Psych! No.
All right. Well, everyone have a good night, and thanks, guys, for being here. Bye.
Later days.